to lose myself. I didn't want to lose myself, and I also didn't want to be super mom. I'm not super mom. Hi guys, karibu kwa familia yetu. Welcome back to my channel where motherhood meets self-care and marriage thrives on teamwork. If you're new here, my name is Shansei. I am a Congolese mom to 4 kids ages 6 and under. On my channel, it is all about balancing life, finding time for myself as a mom, and creating a life we truly enjoy. Excited to have you as part of this journey. Since I have so many new faces on today's video, I figured I'll just sit down and chat with you guys, introduce myself a little bit, because I don't think I've ever really just sat down and introduced myself. I'm excited to get to know you guys. Hopefully you learned something new about me today. Whatever you learned makes you want to stick around, but without further ado, let's get right into it. I said, my name is Shansei. I was born and raised in the Democratic Republic of Congo. So I actually moved to the US when I was about 11 or 12 years old. I never know how old I really was when I moved to the US. I don't know why, it's so hard for me to remember. But when I first moved to the US, I actually moved to Utah. Immediate family, some of them moved to Montreal, Canada, and then I moved to Utah with my aunt. So growing up, I grew up in Utah and in Canada after leaving Congo. I would spend my summers in Canada with my mom, and then my school time will be spent in Utah. First undergrad was at Utah State University, and then from there I moved to Washington DC, where I finished off school. I studied political science and international relations. Before I became a stay-at-home mom, I used to work for Congress. I used to work a lot in legislation. I worked in legislation for aerospace, for nuclear, as well as for doctors and hospitals. Ultimately, I ended up just doing government contracts, and my favorite out of everything I've done was definitely nuclear. My husband and I have been married for 7 years, going on 8 years. We actually met at a pageant. I'm gonna have to do a video where me and him sit down and tell you guys how we met. We met at a pageant where I was competing and my husband was modeling at that pageant at the time. It's a beautiful story, long story. I'm definitely gonna have to do a video. Literally, we were inseparable ever since. The first year of our relationship was actually long distance because I was still a student at Utah State. So long distance for the first year, but after that, it was just me and him, inseparable. Been fully together for 11 years in March, and I can't believe it's been that long. We obviously have 4 kids. Our oldest just turned 6, the twins just turned 5, and then our youngest just turned 2. So our oldest name is Ezekiel. All of our kids' names are actually from the Old Testament and in French. So Ezekiel, the English version, would be Ezekiel, Afia and Atara, and then there's Elzaphen. I wanted to do names that kind of reflect my Congolese culture. We were colonized by a French country, so we do speak French back home. I didn't necessarily want to give him like super obvious French names, so I just did, biblical names in French. We're living in the DMV area for the last 10 years since of us being together, and we just moved to Charlotte a year ago, so we are actually really new here and are still just getting used to it. The minute we had my firstborn, I immediately became a stay-at-home mom. However, even while I was a stay-at-home mom, the biggest thing I did not want, at least for me, was to lose my resume. I think people often think that being a stay-at-home mom is like just to calculate how much money you make versus how much daycare costs, which I think is one part of it, but there's so much more to it. So personally, my job was paying enough to where we would have, been fine if my kids were in daycare. But I think I just really wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. And at the time, I didn't feel like my career was going anywhere that I was like, I don't want to let this go. But when I became a stay-at-home mom the first time, I literally only made it 5 months with my firstborn before I got pregnant again with the twins. And by the time I got pregnant with the twins, I was like, absolutely not. I hate being a stay-at-home mom. Immediately take me back to work. So I got an offer, I went back to work, and thankfully where I was working at the time, I was able to do 2 days remote, and this is before COVID. So working remote was a privilege, and I was really lucky to work 2 days at home. I had a really flexible career at that time. I was working from home. I had a really high-risk pregnancy with the twins, but somehow I still made it. This was a really important title for me. I think it's something I worked towards in my career. And one thing I never wanted to have is like regrets and say, oh, I would have done this, but I ended up having kids. So I'm really glad I pursued it, but I stayed at that job for about 1.5 years. And when the twins were 1.5 years, I was like, okay, I don't feel like this is bringing me much fulfillment anymore. I want to just go back to being a full-time stay-at-home mom, and so I did. What I would do is occasionally I would just grab a government contract to fill out my resume, and when I'm not doing that, I would just do a bunch of certificates so that whenever I go apply for a job in the future, there's no gap between me working, because there would have been like 6-year gap between when I first left my job and became a stay-at-home mom, and I did not want that. And I'm really thankful that I had that mindset, because middle of last year, while we moved to Charlotte, I got an opportunity to have a contract in nuclear sourcing. I love nuclear. I love that I could have an opportunity to work in nuclear again. So of course I took it because my resume was so updated. I was able to land this huge contract that I'm currently still working on now. So even though my primarily job, I like to say, is being a stay-at-home mom, I do have this contract. I do get to go in the office like twice a week, which to me just gives me this sense of fulfillment. I feel like I'm accomplishing all my dreams while still being the mom I want to be for my kids. And of course, I have you guys. I've been creating content for about 3 years now, and it has brought me a very unexpected joy. I think it's because I've always loved working with women, and I used to do pageants. My platform, I used to focus on educating the future of Congo and healing the women of Congo, because Congo is the #1, I hate saying this out loud, it's the #1 R-word nation in the world. So many women are hurt all the time, and having the opportunity to work with women who have been wounded and hurt in the most horrific way always just filled my heart. But even though I'm not doing that type of work anymore, when I became a stay-at-home mom, I noticed there was such a huge gap in between what society tells us we have to do when we become mom versus what brings a lot of us mom fulfillment. I noticed that there was expectations being placed on us, and I didn't see that many women who were able to just show me a different way of being a stay-at-home mom. I did not want to be a miserable mom. I did not want to give up who I am, my personality. I did not want to be a mom and have nothing else to offer besides just motherhood. I didn't want to put that type of pressure on my husband or my kids. I didn't want to lose myself. And I also didn't want to be super mom. Like, I'm not super mom. I don't want to be a do-it-all type of mom. So I really want to give myself an opportunity to just be that mom that shows other women a different way of doing it, right? I wanted to be here to show other moms that yes, it's okay to be a stay-at-home mom and still have a nanny. It's okay to be a stay-at-home mom and save money so that you can have someone come clean your house once a week. I want to show moms that your partner is supposed to be your partner in all of it. Your partner is supposed to be your partner in the dishes, in the laundry. I just wanted a different way of doing things, and when I didn't see it, I said, hey, that could be me, and so it is. I love my community. I love my TikTok, Instagram community, and hopefully now my YouTube community. I'm excited for you guys to get to know all the different parts of me. I feel like I'm a very multifaceted woman. I'm not just one thing. I'm a lot of things, right? I'm a mom, I'm a career woman, I'm a content creator. Never felt like I had to wail in my passion to just be one thing, and that's what makes me me. I feel like this channel could be a place where I get to, I guess, dive deep into who I am and share the joys with you guys. I'm excited about it. So I'm gonna just do rapid fire fun facts about me. I've been bitten by 3 different animals. I was bitten by a snake, a scorpion, and I've been scratched by a raccoon at camp. And I ride a bike, even though my husband has been trying to teach me for a very long time, and I'm getting much better at it. I do speak multiple different languages, including French, Swahili, Lingala, which I don't speak often on camera, and I guess you can say English. I have lived in Rwanda, Uganda, Sudan, obviously Congo, and then United States and Canada. When I was in high school, I was part of the debate team, dance team, cheer team, track team, and basketball team. And if you're like, did you do all of this at the same time? Yes, I actually did. I also was part, this is my favorite, but when I was in college, I was still doing the same things, but I was also part of a breakdancing crew. It was called My Bad Crew, and yes, I had a nickname. I can't remember what it was. I'm gonna have to like find a picture from that time, but it was absolutely hilarious. When I was in high school, I thought I wanted to be a lawyer, so I interned for a law firm, and I saw how much work they did. I said, absolutely not. I don't want to uphold the law. I want to make the law. I want to write the law, and so I went into legislation and political science. I feel like I've always had an idea of who I am from a very young age, but I was also in therapy since I was like 17. So I don't know, maybe that had a lot to do with just my self-discovery journey. I am 5'4". This is gonna be the first and only time I ever say my height. I am 5'4". on a good day, but I identify as 5'8". Have broken about 3 bones in my entire life. I've been hospitalized quite often. I feel like all of my labor and delivery stories were pretty traumatizing, so I'm gonna share them with you guys, but be warned ahead of time. Always wanted to be fully just a girl mom, like no boys. I just wanted girls because I feel like no matter how well you raise your boys, society's gonna get a hold of them at one point in time and make them into boys. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So I feel like we have to work 10 times as hard in our house to make sure we're raising kind, generous, and just well-rounded men in the future. And not saying it's any different raising girls, but I feel like with my girls, they have me as their role model, and like I can almost, I don't know, you know, society gets a hold of him, but we know girls, it's us, right? You look at us, look at how we turned out, right? But I feel like, you know, I'm so blessed to have a man like my husband to be that role model for our son, so that give me a calmer vibe when it comes to raising sons. I actually have a ton of siblings. I am the second to last, so I have 2 sisters under me and 5 older sisters, and I think 4 older brothers, so I have a ton of siblings. And because I grew up halfway in Utah and halfway in Montreal, I also have cousins who are like my immediate siblings as well, so it's quite a bit. People always assume I'm like an only child or something. Not at all. Lots and lots and lots of siblings. I've kind of gotten to leave that whole big sister and younger sister vibe, so I get a little bit of best of both worlds. I have no single favorite song. I also don't listen to a single genre. I listen to R&B. I listen to R&B, I listen to hip hop, I listen to Afrobeats, I listen to rap music, I listen to country music. Like, you really just a little bit of everything. I'm actually a very, very, very incredible dancer. I'm gonna have to show you guys a little 1-2 step one of these days. I did take adult ballet as well. I love horseback riding, I love running. I'm actually currently training for half marathon. I don't know what is possessing me to train for a half marathon, but I am training for half marathon either way. Another fun fact, I constantly cut my hair. The reason I cut my hair all the time is honestly because the first time I cut my hair was after I had my daughters. At the time, my hair was like, you know, it was probably the longest it's ever been. And I had a really unhealthy attachment to my hair. I didn't know how to style it. I always felt like hindered from where I can go. If my hair is not done, I can't go this way. If my hair doesn't look a certain way, I can't do this. And I decided I don't want to have those type of feelings towards my hair when I'm raising little black girls who I'm gonna have to teach how to love their hair, how to style their hair, how to take care of their hair. So I chopped off my hair completely bald, and that was my journey to just like having short hair, I swear, because that was maybe 5 years ago. And since then, I've chopped my hair off 3 more times. It's almost like every year I get to a point of just like, chop. But also, it's been the most liberating thing ever. It's taught me to love my hair in a way I never thought possible. It's also taught me to feel very beautiful in every stage where I am. I feel stunning with my short hair like this. I probably feel my best with my hair like this because it feels the most to me sometimes. So I do have it this length quite often, but I also am black, right? And the privilege of being a black woman is getting to explore. We get to explore weaves, braids, crochets. It's part of our culture. It's part of our vibe. My goal with this channel, honestly, is to continue to share with you guys. I am absolutely open to suggestions. Tell me what you guys want to see. Tell me what kind of videos you guys want to see. Do you guys want to see vlogs? Do you guys want to see more sit downs? Do you guys want to see specific topics? I'm open to share my experience in motherhood. I'm also open to learning with you guys. I'm really excited for this journey. For now, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed getting to know me a little bit. I hope this video was fun. I hope you learned something new about me watching this video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm gonna be trying to post as much as I can on here. Thank you. Nakupenda sana, and I will see you on the next vlog.